Hey guys, with me I have
your boy, Fade Master Production.
and today he's going to be sitting in this video where we're going to be speaking about what happens to a person's assets when they die without a will. So let's get into this video now. So you guys, in talking about this topic, I'm going to be speaking about Jack and Jill. You know the very famous account of Jack and Jill, right?
Right.
As the people who went up the hill and so on.
Right.
So hear this, right? I want to talk about Jack and Jill being husband and wife. They've been married for about a period of, let's say, about 10 years, right?
Right.
So with them being married, Jack would have acquired a lot of assets over the years. Properties in Trinidad, monies in the bank, he had cars, all this kind of stuff. Hey master, he was set, well set, right? So Jack died, and it's only Jack and Jill who are alive. They had no children. What do you think would happen to the belongings of Jack? Who would get them?
Well, I'm thinking that his belongings will go to his wife.
But that's the law right there.
Right.
All of the belongings that Jack would have, it would go to his wife. The law is that once there's a spouse, the survivor, and there's no children, the surviving spouse receives all of the assets of the deceased. Right? I want to go a little further now. Let's say Jack and Jill were living in a cohabitational relationship. What is a cohabitant? A cohabitant is a person who lives as though they're husband and wife, exceeding a period of 5 years. That's a position in Trinidad and Tobago, a bona fide relationship for more than 5 years, right?
Okay.
So let's say that they were living as cohabitants and so not married, they don't have any children at all. If Jack is to die, who is to get all of the belongings of Jack? They're not married, they're living as common law in a common law relationship.
Well, for my basic knowledge, I want to believe the state will take it over.
So you're saying after they live so long as
long.
husband and wife, the state should acquire every
No, not as husband and wife.
well, they will live in common law relationship.
Common law
Yes.
relationship.
If they live in common law relationship, the state should get everything, right?
Everything.
Okay. Let me just explain and clarify that law one time, because there's so many persons who are living common law in the Caribbean. They'll probably say, oh my gosh, no way, I'm going to end this.
Right.
The state getting everything.
Yes.
So, yes, you guys. Because they're in a cohabitational relationship or living in a common law relationship, what the law does is the law tries to be fair and equal and ensure that persons benefit accordingly. So in such a case, the law would treat Jill, being a cohabitant, as though she is the wife of Jack, even though they're not married, right? So the law would treat her. So it means that she will get everything that belongs to Jack. Right?
Okay.
But it doesn't come so easy though. What has to be done is that Jill has to now, within 28 days of the death of Jack, she has to go to the courts registrar and apply to be, or notify the registrar that she's a cohabitant of Jack.
Right.
And then within 3 months, the court would then determine what would be the quantum of the share that she has to get from the estate of Jack. But in that particular case, because there's no children at all, Jill will get everything. So the state, nothing for the state in that
Okay,
case.
good.
Right?
But I thought so.
I want to go a little further, because a lot of persons don't know about this particular part of the story. It's concerning John.
John.
There's Jack, Jill, and John. There's
Jack, Jill,
and John.
John.
There's
John.
Let me tell you about
I'll
John.
tell you
Right?
more about John.
No, John is a person who was always up by the well on top of the hill, right? Very frequently up there, and he would meet Jill very often.
Jill.
All right.
Okay.
So lo and behold, a lot of persons didn't know that Jill, she was in a relationship with John. Right?
Wow.
So, and they were in a relationship for more than 5 years, right? And it's only of late that's when Jack found out. So when Jack found out about this, a lot of persons didn't know. What Jack did
Sure, I didn't know.
was Jack just rolled down the hill. He rolled down the hill, he went to pack the clothes, and then he left. And say, see that? I don't want this kind of life. But they never separated, not separated, they never divorced. They just live separate lives. So when Jack makes peace, John filled up the room, and they started to live together as husband and wife. So it was John and Jill. They lived for a period of about 10 years, right? 10 years as cohabitants, right? Not married,
Right.
as cohabitants. They didn't have any children. So tell me what would happen with this now? Remember, they're not divorced. Jack left, right? And John and Jill living together as husband and wife, cohabitants, right? If Jill is to die, what would happen to the assets and belongings of Jill? Jack is still alive, they're not divorced, they're still married, and John is alive and they will live in common law. Who would get the assets? They have no children.
Well, for my basic knowledge, I think in that state will take over everything.
Okay, right? So you just like anything that probably shouldn't go to one particular person, just send everything to the state, right? I think the state would really appreciate it.
Right.
Okay, so in this particular case, right, the law is very unique as well, right? Because they aren't divorced. Right. The law would still recognize that person, Jack, as the husband of Jill, right? But what John would have to do, John would have to apply, just as what I was speaking about before, he would have to apply to the court to be deemed as the cohabitant, right, as the common law husband of Jill. And then John will be able to get whatever assets that he and Jill acquired during the period of time that they were together. So let's say, for example, during the 10 years, John and Jill, they purchased the hill, right? It means that because they purchased the hill together during a period of time that they were in common law relationship, John would most likely get that particular part of the assets. Right? So that is the position of law when it comes to that. I hope you guys that was clear.
Yes.
When it comes to a person who is husband and wife or who are in a cohabitational relationship. I'll ask some other questions and make it a little more complicated with introducing children. So stay tuned. Guys, I'm here with the Feedmaster production, so just leave some comments right in the bottom there, show some love to the Feedmaster production, you guys. So I want to add some more facts to the scenario to hear what the Feedmaster has to say about this. So here it is, right? Jack and Jill, they're married, husband and wife, and I want to add 2 children to that. Let's say Tom and Jerry. So in a case like that, let's say that Jack dies. How would we distribute the assets of Jack? Who would benefit?
Who will benefit from that will be Jill will benefit from it, and then Jill will further distribute it to Tom and Jerry.
Okay. Well, we could accept that. We could accept that partly. Let me tell you what the law is in that particular area. So the law says if there is a spouse and children, the surviving spouse would get 50% of the assets of the deceased, and then the remaining 50% would go to the children in equal shares. So Jill will get 50%, and then Tom would get 25%, and Jerry would also get 25%. Okay. So he was close. Make some noise, you guys. Make some noise for the master. I want to go further now and hear the scenario, right? Let's say that Jack, he doesn't have a wife, he never lived in a cohabitational relationship as well with anyone, right? But he has 2 children. Right? So however you think that happened, it happened, right? So tell me what's going to happen if, well, before I do that, let me say that the children's mother, she's alive. Okay, right? Cool. So what is going to happen with the assets of Jack if he dies?
The asset of Jack will be distributed to his 2 kids, Tom and Jerry.
And that's what about the children's mother? You don't think that
Well, she may come back in their life after. So for now, Tom and Jerry will obtain his asset.
More or less, and that's the position of law as well, because there's no spouse and there's no cohabitant involved. The children will get everything. But in such a case, most times the children's mother would get involved. So what I've seen a lot of people doing is actually making wills, because sometimes the children's mother will come back with a next guy, and then all kind of complications will arise. So what I've seen people do is that they would now make a will and distribute their assets accordingly. If you didn't see that video where I did on wills, just check it out up there, where I spoke about the benefits of a will and how a will is drafted and so on. Now, I want to go further. Here is Feedmaster production. Let's say that Jack and Jill, they're living in a cohabitational relationship, right? Not as they're not married, common law, and they have 2 children, Jerry and Tom, right? So tell me what's going to happen what's going to happen if you have Jack passing away and leaving Jill and the 2 children? What's your view? I just hope that you guys have. The master doesn't say that everything goes to the state.
Yeah, no, not this time.
Then what happens?
Well, what will take place, being that we all know now that a cohabitant relationship is a spouse living together over 10 years,
5 years,
5 years and more, then they will be able to obtain any of his asset. So therefore, the wife will obtain some of his asset, and also his 2 kids will obtain.
It makes some noise. Hold on, even if the internet is making some noise. Good job. So that's how it's going to be as well. But remember, the cohabitant, she would have to apply to the court to be deemed a cohabitant, and then it's going to be distributed accordingly. So because there's no other spouse, there's 50% would go to Jill, and then the remaining 50% would go to the children and equal. You guys, good job.
Right.
Good job. Now hear this, right? I think all in all, some persons may not agree with my belief that there's life after death, but I think that there may be, there's a principle that we could all agree upon. That when a person dies, the people that he leaves behind, they certainly miss him.
Sure.
You know, I do miss a lot of persons who when young, I do miss them. So that's why I think for us, we really need to cherish the time that we have with people, embrace them, enjoy the company that we have, build memories together, enjoy those moments. Yeah. So you guys, I just want to thank the Feedmaster production for being here with me today.
Definitely.
Now you have some stuff that you could talk to your clients about, right? I remember, you guys, this isn't legal advice, so if you need legal advice, you need to go to seek an independent lawyer, alright? But you have some stuff you could talk to your clients about now.
Definitely, right? Sure, right.
So his shop is located at Port Mall in Tobago. Whenever I'm in Tobago, I would go by him to just get my marking.
You need that mark.
I need a mark. I'll be there. So before we end the video, you want to say hello to anyone at all?
Oh yeah, first I would like to shout out my salon, Extreme Nails and Beauty Salon. They're located at Scarborough. Camara Hair Salon, you could find she on IG. Also My Boy, Classic Cut by Akil on IG.
Yeah, he's calling one of the people.
Yes.
Free promotion, you guys.
Yes, also you can look me up, Feedmaster Production on IG.
Alright, so you guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. For me, I had the opportunity, I was invited by a school in Mexico this week, so I just want to say hello to some people over there. There's Anna, there's Abdiel, there's Louise, people like Victoria, Mateo, Zoe, Eli, so many of you. It was a great experience that I had with you. Thank you so much for having me. And remember, if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe right there. Subscribe. Hit the like if you got some value from this video, as well as the notification bell. So you guys take care, and we will see you for now.